And for more now on Matthew Perry's life and career, we are joined again by entertainment host Josh McBride. And Josh, thanks for being here again. I know last night when we spoke, it was within the hour of this sad news breaking. As people are processing this today, first of all, what new details are you hearing, Josh, and what is the reaction?
Yeah, the reaction has been, even Natasha, even just to backtrack for a second, when I watched that package, and I'm sure so many other viewers also did the same, I could find myself smiling at his jokes or remembering that funny episode. And I think that that was Matthew Perry in a nutshell. We watched him for 10 seasons. You know, a lot of us watched him with our family sitting next to us on Thursday nights, and this was the night to look forward to. The reaction has been really tough. They said, obviously, gone too soon, but what we really need to not do is speculate on what could have been. We know that there was potentially, we have details as far as a little bit, but from a toxicology standpoint, we may not know that information for several weeks now. I think what's really important at this point not to do is speculate, but what we should be doing is celebrating the life and legacy that is Matthew Perry, whether that's watching Friends, because you know it'll be on some channel tonight if you have cable, and if you don't, it'll be on streaming. So I think that's the best way we can celebrate his life.
Yeah. And I want to look at the statement again today from the co-creators of Friends and the executive producer as well. They talk, of course, so much about the shock and the sadness, but they also say this. They say, quote, "We will always cherish the joy, the light, the blinding intelligence he brought to every moment, not just to his work, but in life as well. He was always the funniest person in the room. More than that, he was the sweetest, with a giving and selfless heart." And Josh, in this moment, what are we learning about Matthew Perry's selfless heart beyond the sarcasm and the sharpness of Chandler Bing? How did he help people?
You know, I think he did across a number of generations, obviously, of course, with Friends and bringing that humor and light that we all need. I've heard from a lot of people that go, I watched him while I was in the hospital, or I watched him when I was sick, and he made me laugh in this moment. And it was like, that's exactly what you want to hear, is that he provided humor, he provided hope. And I think when we talk about hope with Matthew Perry, I think we have to think about his book, where he opens the book and says, the book that you were just talking about that he wrote last year, "Hi, my name is Maddie, and I should be dead." You know, you talk about 15 times in rehab, 65 times in detox. He talks about in the book, in the interview with Diane Sawyer, how he would go to open houses on Sundays and would go into the bathrooms of these open houses and steal the prescription pills that were in these people's houses. And people would go, "No, it can't be Chandler. It's not Chandler Bing." But what was so great about him is that he wanted to encourage and inform and let people know that there is help. You can get help. There is somebody out there that will be able to help you if you're open and honest about your issues, like I was. And I think that should be the lifelong legacy thought that we should remember when we think about Matthew Perry.
Yeah, and I was struck, even as we're looking at these photos of him through the years, it's only later that he was so candid about this. He says, "You can track me through the years and see the struggle on my face. In the days where I was heavier, that's when I was struggling with alcohol. And then later in years when I was so thin," he said he was 128 pounds, taking 55 Vicodin a day at one point. That's when the pills came in for him. I want to talk about reaction. We've seen many fans, friends, former co-stars paying tribute to Perry online. Also former, or rather current Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He was a childhood friend of Perry's. How did Matthew's upbringing shape him?
I think it just shows you, first off, Natasha, the span, right, of people and generations that really adored this person. And you're talking about how does his upbringing go? Well, he must have been well-liked, because a lot of people we've heard from, we haven't necessarily heard from the main Friends cast. And I think if it was me from a PR standpoint, I'm probably waiting to do a group sort of, maybe a group statement together, because it's kind of interesting that we've heard from Maggie Wheeler, who played Janet. We've heard from Kathleen Wheeler, who played Chandler's dad. We even heard from people like Adele, who took time in her residency over the weekend to address this. Yvette Nicole Brown, who played in The Odd Couple with him. Shannon Doherty, Ian Ziering, Selma Blair. When you think about it, Natasha, it really goes to show you the span of his likability and his expertise on air as a comedian, as an actor. And then when you also think about that additional piece of what he provided to so many of those who were struggling, or who maybe are struggling, I think that is going to be his everlasting legacy that people will take home.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that. I mean, I think the legacy through Friends will live on hopefully for generations to come. What, in a sentence or two, what do you believe Perry's lasting impact will be for Americans going forward?
Yeah, I think it's happiness and hope and humor. You know, the three H's. I talked about it, and I said happiness, hope, and humor. I think that at the end of the day, and I just said it, we will remember him not for his addiction or anything like that. We will remember him for being so outspoken about it. And then also, you know, looking to him for a source of comfort, looking to the cast of Friends while watching it on our couch, whether we're homesick from a school day or just broke up with a significant other or maybe just had a bad day. We look to him for that hope, that humor, and that happiness.
Yeah, and I think all of us were rooting for him. I really get that sense now in looking at these tributes. Josh McBride, I appreciate your time again. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, Josh.
And there is